Hey there, have you ever wondered why some people seem to command respect effortlessly, while others struggle to gain the admiration and esteem of those around them? Well, today I'm here to shed light on 4 awful habits that might be sabotaging your efforts to earn the respect you deserve. These habits can sneakily creep into your life without you even realizing it, slowly eroding the foundation of respect that you've worked so hard to build. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge and tools necessary to identify and eliminate these respect-killing habits from your life once and for all. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty details, let me ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt disrespected or undervalued by others? Maybe it was at work, where your colleagues seemed to dismiss your ideas without giving them a fair chance. Or perhaps it was in your personal life, where your friends or family members consistently talked over you or ignored your opinions. If you've experienced these scenarios, you know firsthand how frustrating and demoralizing it can be to feel like you're not being given the respect you deserve. But here's the thing: respect isn't something that's handed out freely. It's earned through your actions, your words, and the way you carry yourself. And unfortunately, there are certain habits that can quickly derail your efforts to gain respect, no matter how hard you try. These habits are like silent assassins, slowly chipping away at your credibility and making it harder for others to see you as someone worthy of their admiration and esteem. So what are these 4 awful habits that make people disrespect you? Well, buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into each one of them. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll have a newfound appreciation for the power of your own actions and the impact they can have on the way others perceive you. The first habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of integrity. Integrity is the foundation upon which respect is built. It's the quality of being honest, trustworthy, and consistent in your actions and words. When you lack integrity, people start to question your motives and your reliability. They begin to wonder if they can trust you to follow through on your commitments, or if you'll say one thing and do another. Think about it this way: if you consistently make promises that you don't keep, or if you're caught in lies or half-truths, how can anyone trust you? How can they respect you when they don't know if they can believe a word that comes out of your mouth? Integrity is like the glue that holds your relationships together. Without it, everything falls apart. So if you want to earn the respect of those around you, you need to make integrity a non-negotiable part of your character. You need to be honest, even when it's difficult. You need to follow through on your commitments, even when it's inconvenient. And you need to be consistent in your actions, even when no one is watching. But here's the thing: integrity isn't something you can fake. It's not a mask you can put on when it's convenient and take off when it's not. It's a way of life, a commitment to being the best version of yourself, even when it's hard. And when you live with integrity, people notice. They see you as someone they can trust, someone they can count on, and someone they can respect. The second habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of self-respect. Now, I know what you might be thinking: wait a minute, I thought this was about how to earn the respect of others, not about respecting myself. But here's the thing: the way you treat yourself is a reflection of how you expect others to treat you. Think about it this way: if you constantly put yourself down, if you engage in negative self-talk or allow others to walk all over you, what message are you sending to the world? You're telling people that you don't value yourself, that you don't believe you're worthy of respect. And if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to respect you? Self-respect is about setting boundaries, standing up for yourself, and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would extend to a dear friend. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. When you have self-respect, you carry yourself differently. You walk with your head held high, confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. You speak up when something doesn't feel right, and you're not afraid to say no when something doesn't align with your values or goals. And here's the beautiful thing: when you respect yourself, others can't help but respect you too. They see the way you treat yourself, and they instinctively know that you're not someone to be trifled with. They understand that you have standards and expectations for how you want to be treated, and they rise to meet those expectations. So if you want to earn the respect of others, start by respecting yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and dignity that you would extend to someone you deeply admire. Set boundaries, stand up for yourself, and refuse to settle for anything less than you deserve. When you do, you'll find that respect becomes a natural byproduct of the way you live your life. The third habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to understand their perspective and feelings, even if they differ from your own. When you lack empathy, you come across as cold, disconnected, and uncaring. You give the impression that you're only interested in your own needs and desires and that you don't care about the impact your actions have on others. Think about a time when you've interacted with someone who lacked empathy. Maybe it was a boss who consistently dismissed your concerns or a friend who always managed to make the conversation about themselves. How did that make you feel? Chances are you felt unheard, unvalued, and disrespected. Now imagine being on the other side of that interaction. Imagine being the person who lacks empathy, who consistently puts their own needs above others, who fails to consider how their words and actions might be impacting those around them. How do you think that comes across to others? Do you think it inspires respect and admiration, or does it breed resentment and disdain? Empathy is the key to building strong, respectful relationships. When you take the time to understand others, to listen to their perspectives and concerns, you show them that you value them as human beings. You demonstrate that you're not just interested in what they can do for you, but that you genuinely care about their well-being and happiness. And here's the thing, empathy isn't just about being nice or agreeable. It's about having the courage to have difficult conversations, to stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. It's about being willing to put yourself in someone else's shoes, even when their experiences and perspectives are vastly different from your own. When you cultivate empathy, you become a better leader, a better friend, and a better human being. You inspire others to be their best selves, and you create a culture of respect and understanding that permeates every aspect of your life. So if you want to earn the respect of those around you, start by practicing empathy. Take the time to listen, to understand, and to consider the perspectives of others. Show them that you value them as human beings and that you're willing to put in the work to build strong, respectful relationships. When you do, you'll find that respect becomes a natural byproduct of the way you interact with the world. The fourth and final habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to understand your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and how they impact those around you. When you lack self-awareness, you're like a bull in a china shop, crashing through life without any regard for the damage you might be causing. Think about it this way. Have you ever been in a meeting where someone consistently interrupted others or talked over them? Or have you ever had a friend who always managed to make everything about themselves, no matter what the conversation was about? Chances are those people lack self-awareness. They were so caught up in their own thoughts and desires that they failed to consider how their actions were impacting those around them. Now imagine being that person. Imagine going through life without any awareness of how your words and actions are being perceived by others. Imagine consistently offending or alienating people without even realizing it. How do you think that would impact your relationships and your ability to earn respect? Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and development. It's the key to understanding your own strengths and weaknesses and to making the changes necessary to become the best version of yourself. When you're self-aware, you're able to see yourself objectively, to understand how your actions and behaviors are impacting those around you, and to make adjustments as needed. And here's the thing, self-awareness isn't something that comes naturally to most people. It's a skill that needs to be developed and cultivated over time. It requires a willingness to be honest with yourself, to seek out feedback from others, and to make changes when necessary. But when you do the work to become more self-aware, the payoff is immense. You become a better communicator, a better leader, and a better friend. You're able to build stronger, more respectful relationships and to create a life that aligns with your deepest values and goals. So, if you want to earn the respect of those around you, start by cultivating self-awareness. Take the time to understand your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and how they impact those around you. Seek out feedback from others and be willing to make changes when necessary. When you do, you'll find that respect becomes a natural byproduct of the way you show up in the world. Now, I know that cultivating these habits of integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness can be a daunting task. It requires a willingness to be vulnerable, to take an honest look at yourself, and to make changes when necessary. But here's the thing, the rewards are so worth it. When you live with integrity, when you respect yourself and others, when you cultivate empathy and self-awareness, you become a beacon of light in a world that can often feel dark and chaotic. You inspire others to be their best selves, and you create a ripple effect of positivity and respect that touches everyone around you. And here's the beautiful thing, respect isn't something that's finite or scarce. It's not something that you have to hoard or guard jealously. In fact, the more respect you give to others, the more respect you'll receive in return. It's a virtuous cycle that feeds on itself, creating a culture of kindness, compassion, and understanding. So my challenge to you today is this: take a hard look at yourself and your habits. Ask yourself if you're living with integrity, if you're respecting yourself and others, if you're cultivating empathy and self-awareness. And if you find that you're falling short in any of these areas, don't beat yourself up. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Instead, commit to making small changes every day. Start by being honest with yourself and others, even when it's hard. Practice treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would extend to a dear friend. Take the time to listen to others, to understand their perspectives and concerns, and seek out feedback from trusted friends and mentors so that you can continue to grow and develop as a person. When you do these things, when you make these habits a non-negotiable part of your life, you'll find that respect becomes a natural byproduct of the way you show up in the world. You'll inspire others to be their best selves, and you'll create a culture of kindness, compassion, and understanding that touches everyone around you. So my friends, let's make a commitment today to live with integrity, to respect ourselves and others, to cultivate empathy and self-awareness, and to create a world where respect is the norm, not the exception. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world, and let's do it together. Thank you for listening, and remember, the power to earn respect lies within you. Use it wisely and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, I've been trying to earn respect for years and it hasn't worked. What makes you so sure that these habits will make a difference? And to that, I say fair point. Earning respect isn't always easy, and it's not something that happens overnight. But here's the thing: when you consistently practice these habits of integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness, you start to see a shift in the way people treat you. It might start small, with a colleague who starts to listen more attentively when you speak, or a friend who goes out of their way to show you kindness and support. But over time, these small changes start to add up. You start to notice that people are more willing to collaborate with you, to seek out your opinions and insights, and to treat you with the respect and dignity that you deserve. And here's the really cool part: when you start to earn respect from others, it has a ripple effect on every aspect of your life. You start to feel more confident and self-assured, more willing to take risks and pursue your dreams. You start to attract people who share your values and your commitment to personal growth, and you start to build a community of like-minded individuals who support and encourage you every step of the way. But of course, earning respect isn't just about what you get from others. It's also about what you give to the world. When you live with integrity, when you treat yourself and others with respect, when you cultivate empathy and self-awareness, you become a force for good in the world. You start to make a positive impact on the lives of those around you, and you start to create a legacy that will endure long after you're gone. Think about some of the most respected people in history, people like Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and Mother Teresa. These individuals weren't perfect, but they lived their lives with a deep commitment to integrity, compassion, and service to others. They inspired millions of people around the world to be their best selves, and they left a lasting impact on the world that continues to be felt to this day. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a world-renowned leader or a saint to earn respect. But I am saying that when you live your life with purpose and intention, when you make these habits of respect a non-negotiable part of who you are, you start to create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. So how do you start to cultivate these habits in your own life? Well, the first step is to get clear on your values and your priorities. What's most important to you? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Once you have a sense of your values and priorities, the next step is to start aligning your actions with them. This means being honest with yourself and others, even when it's uncomfortable. It means treating yourself with kindness and compassion, even when you're feeling down or discouraged. It means taking the time to listen to others, to understand their perspectives and concerns, even when you disagree with them. And it means being willing to seek out feedback and make changes when necessary, even when it's hard. Of course, cultivating these habits of respect isn't always easy. There will be times when you fall short, when you make mistakes or let someone down. But the key is to remember that personal growth is a journey, not a destination. It's about progress, not perfection. So when you do stumble or fall short, don't beat yourself up. Instead, take a moment to reflect on what happened, to learn from your mistakes, and to recommit to your values and priorities. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are countless others out there who are working to cultivate these same habits of respect, who are striving to be their best selves and make a positive impact on the world. One of the best ways to stay motivated and accountable on this journey is to surround yourself with people who share your values and your commitment to personal growth. This might mean joining a community of like-minded individuals, whether it's a professional network, a volunteer organization, or a personal development group. It might mean seeking out mentors or coaches who can offer guidance and support along the way. Or it might simply mean being intentional about the people you spend your time with and choosing to surround yourself with those who lift you up and inspire you to be your best self. Another key to cultivating these habits of respect is to practice gratitude and appreciation. When you take the time to acknowledge and appreciate the good things in your life, whether it's a supportive friend, a meaningful career, or a beautiful sunset, you start to shift your focus away from what's lacking and towards what's abundant. You start to cultivate a sense of contentment and joy that radiates outward, touching everyone around you. And when you make gratitude and appreciation a regular practice, you start to notice a shift in the way you show up in the world. You become more patient, more compassionate, more willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. You start to see the best in people even when they're struggling or making mistakes. And you start to create a culture of respect and appreciation that lifts everyone up. Of course, cultivating these habits of respect isn't just about what happens in your personal life. It's also about how you show up in your professional life, in your community, and in the world at large. It's about using your platform and your influence to create positive change, to advocate for justice and equality, and to be a voice for those who may not have one. This might mean speaking up when you see something that isn't right, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. It might mean using your skills and resources to make a difference in your community, whether it's volunteering at a local nonprofit or mentoring a young person who needs guidance and support. Or it might mean using your voice and your influence to advocate for causes that matter to you, whether it's environmental sustainability, social justice, or any other issue that you feel called to address. When you make these habits of respect a core part of who you are, when you use your platform and your influence to create positive change in the world, you start to create a legacy that will endure long after you're gone. You start to inspire others to be their best selves, to stand up for what's right, and to create a world that's more compassionate and more respectful for all. So my friends, let's make a commitment today to cultivate these habits of respect in our own lives and to use our influence and our platform to create positive change in the world. Let's be the leaders and the change makers that our world so desperately needs, and let's do it with integrity, compassion, and a deep respect for ourselves and others. And remember, this journey of personal growth and respect isn't always easy. There will be challenges and setbacks along the way. But when you stay committed to your values and your priorities, when you surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you to be your best self, and when you make gratitude and appreciation a regular practice, you start to create a life that's rich with meaning, purpose, and respect. So let's get out there and start living our lives with intention and purpose. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world, and let's do it together. Because when we all commit to cultivating these habits of respect, when we all use our influence and our platform to create positive change, there's no limit to what we can achieve. Thank you for listening, and remember, the power to earn respect and create a better world lies within each and every one of us. Let's use it wisely, and let's start today. Have you ever had a feeling deep down in your gut that something just didn't feel right? Or maybe you've experienced a strong sense of intuition guiding you towards a certain decision or action. These gut instincts are powerful signals that we should pay attention to, but all too often we dismiss them or talk ourselves out of listening to them. Today I want to share with you 4 gut instincts that you should never ignore. These instincts are like an internal compass guiding you towards the right path and helping you navigate through life's challenges. By tuning into these instincts and trusting them, you can make better decisions, avoid potential pitfalls, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. The first gut instinct you should never ignore is the feeling that something isn't right in a situation or relationship. Maybe you've started a new job, and despite everyone else seeming happy and content, you can't shake the feeling that something is off. Or perhaps you're in a relationship, and even though your partner treats you well, there's a nagging sense that it's not the right fit for you. When you have this gut instinct, it's important to pay attention to it Don't dismiss it as mere paranoia or overthinking. Your intuition is picking up on subtle cues and red flags that your conscious mind may not be fully aware of. It's like an early warning system alerting you to potential problems or issues that could arise down the line. So if you find yourself in a situation where something just doesn't feel right, take a step back and assess it objectively. Ask yourself what specifically is causing that unease. Is it the people involved? The work environment? The values or goals that don't align with your own? By identifying the source of your discomfort, you can make an informed decision about whether to address the issue head-on or consider making a change. Remember, staying in a situation that constantly triggers your gut instinct is like swimming upstream. It's exhausting, and it rarely leads to long-term happiness or success. Trust your instincts and have the courage to make the necessary changes, even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone. The second gut instinct you should never ignore is the feeling that you're meant for something more. Do you ever have a deep, unshakable sense that you have a greater purpose or calling in life? Maybe you've been working in a certain field for years, but there's a persistent voice inside telling you that you're destined for something different, something that truly sets your soul on fire. This gut instinct is your inner wisdom urging you to pursue your passions and live a life that is authentic to who you are. It's the voice that whispers you have unique gifts and talents to share with the world. Don't settle for a life of mediocrity or unfulfillment. Too often we ignore this instinct because we're afraid of change or we feel pressured to follow a certain path that others have laid out for us. We convince ourselves that our dreams are unrealistic or that we don't have what it takes to pursue them. But let me tell you something, your dreams are valid and you have every right to go after them. When you have the gut instinct that you're meant for something more, start exploring what that something more might be. What activities or pursuits light you up and make you lose track of time? What problems do you feel passionate about solving? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Don't be afraid to take small steps towards your dreams, even if you can't see the entire path ahead. Trust that your gut instinct will guide you in the right direction, and have faith in your ability to overcome obstacles and create the life you truly desire. The third gut instinct you should never ignore is the feeling that someone isn't being entirely truthful or authentic with you. In our interactions with others, whether it's in personal relationships or professional settings, we sometimes get a sense that something is off, that someone's words don't quite match their actions, or that they're hiding something from us. This gut instinct is your intuition picking up on subtle inconsistencies or red flags in someone's behavior. It's the feeling that there's more beneath the surface than what they're presenting to you. When you have this instinct, it's crucial to pay attention to it and trust your judgment. This doesn't mean jumping to conclusions or accusing someone without evidence, but rather being mindful and observant of their behavior and communication. If someone consistently says one thing but does another, or if they seem evasive or defensive when asked simple questions, those are potential signs that they may not be being fully honest with you. It's important to approach these situations with care and discernment, but also with a healthy dose of self-protection. Remember, you have the right to surround yourself with people who are genuine, trustworthy, and transparent. If your gut instinct is telling you that someone isn't being authentic, don't ignore it. Have open and honest conversations, set boundaries when necessary, and prioritize relationships with those who consistently demonstrate integrity and reliability. The fourth and final gut instinct you should never ignore is the feeling that you need to take action on something, even if it scares you. Have you ever had a powerful urge to do something, but the thought of actually doing it filled you with fear or uncertainty? Maybe it's quitting a job that's no longer fulfilling, starting your own business, or having a difficult conversation with a loved one. This gut instinct is your inner wisdom nudging you out of your comfort zone and towards growth and transformation. It's the voice that says you can't stay where you are forever. It's time to take a leap of faith and trust in your abilities. When you have this instinct, it's easy to let fear hold you back. You might worry about failing, making the wrong choice, or facing disapproval from others. But here's the thing, growth and comfort rarely coexist. If you want to evolve and reach your full potential, you have to be willing to embrace discomfort and take bold action. So when your gut instinct tells you to take action on something, even if it scares you, listen to it, break down the steps into manageable pieces and focus on one step at a time. Surround yourself with supportive people who believe in you and your dreams. And most importantly, trust in your own resilience and ability to handle whatever challenges come your way. Remember, every successful person you admire has faced fear and taken risks. They've had moments of doubt and uncertainty, but they chose to listen to their gut instincts and take action anyway. And that's what sets them apart, their willingness to trust themselves and step into the unknown. As I wrap up this speech, I want to leave you with a final thought. Your gut instincts are a powerful tool for navigating through life's challenges and opportunities. They are your inner compass, guiding you towards the path that aligns with your deepest values, desires, and purpose. But here's the thing, gut instincts are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger and more reliable they become. So start paying attention to those subtle feelings and hunches. Give yourself permission to trust your intuition, even if it goes against what others are telling you. And when you do listen to your gut instincts, be prepared for magic to happen. You'll find yourself making better decisions, attracting the right people and opportunities into your life, and feeling a deep sense of alignment and fulfillment. So my challenge to you today is this: listen to your gut instincts, trust them, act on them, and watch as your life unfolds in beautiful and unexpected ways. Remember, you have a unique purpose and set of gifts to share with the world. Your gut instincts are there to guide you towards that purpose every step of the way, so don't ignore them. Embrace them and let them lead you to a life that truly sets your soul on fire. Let me share a personal story with you about a time when I ignored my gut instincts and the lessons I learned from that experience. Many years ago, I was offered a job opportunity that seemed too good to be true. The salary was higher than anything I had ever earned before, and the company had a reputation for being a leader in its industry. On paper, it looked like the perfect next step in my career. But something didn't feel quite right. During the interview process, I noticed that the hiring manager seemed more interested in my ability to work long hours than in my actual skills and experience. The company culture felt intense and competitive, with little emphasis on work-life balance or employee well-being. Despite these red flags, I convinced myself to ignore my gut instincts. I told myself that I was just being overly cautious and that I should jump at the chance to advance my career and increase my earnings. So I accepted the job offer and started my new role with enthusiasm and determination. But it didn't take long for me to realize that my gut instincts had been right all along. The work environment was toxic and stressful, with constant pressure to meet unrealistic deadlines and expectations. My colleagues were more focused on outshining each other than on collaborating and supporting one another. And despite the high salary, I found myself feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from my true passions and values. I stuck it out for a year, telling myself that things would get better if I just worked harder and proved myself. But the longer I stayed, the more drained and unhappy I became. My physical and mental health started to suffer, and I found myself dreading going to work each day. Finally, I reached a breaking point. I realized that no amount of money or prestige was worth sacrificing my well-being and happiness. So I made the difficult decision to listen to my gut instincts and leave the job, even though I didn't have another one lined up. It was a scary and uncertain time, but as soon as I made the decision, I felt a sense of relief and liberation wash over me. I knew deep down that I had made the right choice, even if it meant taking a step back in my career and facing some financial challenges in the short term. Looking back on that experience now, I realize how much I learned about the importance of listening to my gut instincts. I learned that no matter how good an opportunity may look on the surface, if it doesn't align with my values and priorities, it's not the right path for me. I also learned that trusting my intuition is a skill that requires practice and courage. It's not always easy to go against the grain or make decisions that others may not understand or approve of. But the more I practice listening to my gut instincts and acting on them, the more confident and empowered I feel in my choices. Since that experience, I've made it a priority to check in with my gut instincts regularly, whether I'm making big life decisions or navigating day-to-day challenges. And I've found that the more I trust my intuition, the more it leads me towards opportunities and experiences that truly light me up and align with my purpose. Of course, listening to your gut instincts doesn't mean that every decision will be easy or that you'll never face obstacles or setbacks. But it does mean that you'll be living in alignment with your deepest values and desires, and that you'll have the resilience and inner strength to weather any challenges that come your way. So, if you're facing a decision or situation that's causing you to question your gut instincts, I encourage you to take a step back and tune into that inner wisdom. Ask yourself what feels right and true for you, even if it goes against what others are telling you or what seems like the logical choice. And remember, your gut instincts are uniquely yours. What feels right for someone else may not be the right path for you, and that's okay. Trust that your inner compass is guiding you towards the people, experiences, and opportunities that are meant for you. As you practice listening to your gut instincts more and more, you may find that they start to become clearer and stronger. You may notice patterns or themes in the types of situations that trigger your intuition, or in the ways that your body and mind signal that something is off. Pay attention to those signals and honor them as valuable information. If something feels consistently off or unsettling, even if you can't quite put your finger on why, that's a sign that it may be time to make a change or seek out a different path. And if you do make a decision based on your gut instincts and it doesn't turn out the way you hoped, don't beat yourself up or second guess your intuition. Remember that every experience, even the challenging ones, is an opportunity for growth and learning. Trust that your gut instincts are always guiding you towards your highest good, even if the path is winding or the destination isn't clear. And know that the more you listen to and act on your intuition, the more you'll start to see evidence of its wisdom and power in your life. As I close out this speech, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your gut instincts are a gift, a powerful tool for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. They are a reminder that you have an inner compass, a source of wisdom and guidance that is always available to you. But like any gift, your gut instincts require care and attention to flourish. They require you to create space in your life for stillness and reflection, to tune out the noise and distractions of the outside world and tune into the voice within. So make time each day to connect with your intuition, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few deep breaths and checking in with yourself. Ask yourself what you need, what feels right and true for you, and what small steps you can take to honor those instincts. And as you move through your day, pay attention to the subtle cues and nudges that your gut instincts are sending you. Maybe it's a feeling of excitement or energy when you think about a certain opportunity, or a sense of unease or discomfort when you're in a situation that doesn't feel quite right. Trust those feelings and use them as a guide for making decisions and taking action. Remember that your gut instincts are not something to be ignored or pushed aside, but rather a valuable tool for creating a life that truly feels authentic and fulfilling to you. And if you ever find yourself doubting your instincts or questioning your path, come back to this simple truth: you are wise, you are capable, and you have everything you need within you to create the life you desire. Your gut instincts are a reflection of that inner wisdom, and the more you listen to and trust them, the more you'll start to see evidence of their power and potential in your life. So my final challenge to you is this: make a commitment to listening to your gut instincts, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. Make a commitment to honoring your inner wisdom and using it as a guide for navigating the twists and turns of life. And most importantly, make a commitment to trusting yourself and your ability to create a life that truly sets your soul on fire. Because when you do, there's no limit to what you can achieve or the impact you can make in the world. Thank you for listening today, and remember, your gut instincts are your superpower. Trust them, honor them, and let them guide you towards a life that is truly extraordinary. Now, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that listening to your gut instincts is not always easy, especially in a world that often values logic and reason over intuition and emotion. We're taught from a young age to rely on facts and figures, to make decisions based on what we can see and measure and quantify. And while there's certainly value in that approach, it can also lead us to dismiss or override our intuition, even when it's trying to tell us something important. I know that for many of us, the idea of trusting our gut instincts can feel risky or even irresponsible. We worry that we'll make the wrong choice, or that we'll be judged or criticized by others for following our hearts instead of our heads. But here's the thing: your gut instincts are not some woo-woo-woo, airy-fairy concept with no basis in reality. In fact, there's a growing body of scientific research that suggests that our intuition is actually a highly sophisticated and intelligent system, one that draws on a vast array of information and experiences to help us make better decisions and navigate complex situations. Studies have shown that our gut instincts are often the result of unconscious processing in the brain, a lightning-fast analysis of patterns and cues that we may not even be aware of on a conscious level. This means that when we have a gut feeling about something, it's not just a random hunch or a fleeting emotion. It's a signal from our deepest wisdom and intelligence, a message from the part of us that knows what we need to thrive and flourish. So when you find yourself doubting your gut instincts or questioning whether you should really trust that inner voice, remember this: your intuition is not some fluffy, ungrounded notion. It's a powerful and valuable tool. one that you can learn to harness and use to create a life that truly feels authentic and fulfilling to you. Of course, that doesn't mean that following your gut instincts will always be easy or comfortable. There will be times when your intuition leads you in a direction that feels scary or uncertain, times when you'll have to take a leap of faith and trust that the path will reveal itself as you go. But here's what I've learned from my own experience and from the stories of countless others who have followed their gut instincts. The rewards of trusting your intuition are always worth the risk. When you learn to listen to and honor your gut instincts, you start to align yourself with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. You start to make choices that feel true to who you are and what you value, rather than just going through the motions or doing what you think you should do. And as you start to live in alignment with your intuition, you may find that opportunities and experiences start to flow into your life with greater ease and abundance. It's as if the universe conspires to support you when you're following your inner compass, opening doors and clearing paths that you never could have anticipated or planned for. Now, I'm not saying that following your gut instincts will make life perfect or problem-free. There will still be challenges and obstacles to navigate, moments of doubt and uncertainty to work through. But when you learn to trust your intuition and use it as a guide, you develop a greater sense of resilience and adaptability. You know that no matter what life throws your way, you have the inner resources and wisdom to handle it with grace and courage. So as you go forward from this moment, I invite you to make a commitment to listening to and honoring your gut instincts, even when it feels challenging or uncomfortable. I invite you to create space in your life for stillness and reflection, to tune into the voice within and allow it to guide you towards your deepest desires and highest potential. And most of all, I invite you to trust yourself and your ability to create a life that feels truly authentic and fulfilling to you. Because when you do, there's no limit to what you can achieve or the impact you can make in the world. Remember, your gut instincts are a gift, a powerful tool for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. They are a reminder that you have everything you need within you to thrive and flourish, no matter what challenges or opportunities come your way. So listen to that inner voice, trust its wisdom and guidance, and know that every time you honor your gut instincts, you are taking a step towards a life that is truly extraordinary. Thank you for being here today, and remember, your intuition is your superpower. Use it wisely, trust it deeply, and let it guide you towards a future that is even better than you can imagine. All right, let's dive into this powerful message that I want to share with you today. Picture this: you're on your deathbed looking back at your life and reflecting on the choices you made. What will you regret? What will you wish you had done differently? I've spent decades studying the human condition, and I've discovered that there are 4 things you should never sacrifice for anyone, no matter what. These are the keys to living a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment. First and foremost, never sacrifice your dreams. Your dreams are the very essence of who you are. They are the sparks that ignite your soul and give your life meaning. When you were a child, you had big dreams. You wanted to be an astronaut, a doctor, an artist, or maybe even change the world. But somewhere along the way, life happened. People told you to be realistic, to settle for less. They said your dreams were too big, too impractical. And slowly you started to believe them. You started to shrink your dreams to fit into the tiny box that society handed you. But let me tell you something, your dreams are not meant to fit into anyone else's box. They are meant to be pursued with every fiber of your being, no matter how impossible they may seem. Think about the great dreamers of our time. Martin Luther King, Jr., had a dream of racial equality in a time when segregation was the norm. Nelson Mandela had a dream of a free South Africa, even as he spent 27 years in prison. Steve Jobs had a dream of putting a computer in every home, back when computers were the size of a room. These people didn't let anyone tell them their dreams were too big. They pursued them relentlessly, and they changed the world in the process. And you have that same power within you. Your dreams matter, and they deserve to be pursued. But pursuing your dreams isn't easy. It requires sacrifice, hard work, and a willingness to face your fears. And that brings me to the second thing: you should never sacrifice your courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you live courageously, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You try new things, take risks, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. You become the kind of person who makes things happen rather than waiting for things to happen to you. Think about a time when you were courageous. Maybe it was speaking up for someone who was being bullied, even though you were afraid of being targeted yourself. Maybe it was quitting a job you hated to pursue your passion, even though you had no safety net. Maybe it was asking someone out on a date, even though you were terrified of rejection. In those moments of courage, you grew. You became stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And you learned that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. But courage isn't just about taking big leaps. It's also about the small daily choices we make. It's about choosing kindness over cruelty, even when it's hard. It's about standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. It's about being true to yourself, even when the world is telling you to be someone else. When you live with courage, you become a beacon of light in a world that can sometimes feel very dark. Which brings me to the third thing: you should never sacrifice your integrity. Integrity is about being honest, authentic, and true to your values. Even when no one is watching, it's about doing the right thing, even when it's hard. When you live with integrity, you build trust with others and with yourself. You become a person of your word, someone who can be counted on to do what you say you'll do. Think about a time when you were faced with a choice between doing what was easy and doing what was right. Maybe it was returning a lost wallet, even though you could have kept the money inside. Maybe it was admitting to a mistake at work, even though it could have cost you your job. Maybe it was telling the truth, even when a lie would have been more convenient. In those moments of integrity, you built character. You became someone who could look in the mirror and be proud of the person staring back at you. But integrity isn't just about the big choices. It's also about the small, daily actions that define who we are. It's about being kind to the barista who messed up your coffee order, even though you're in a hurry. It's about giving your full attention to the person in front of you, even though your phone is buzzing with notifications. It's about doing your best work, even when no one is there to see it. When you live with integrity, you become a person of substance, someone who leaves the world a little better than you found it. And that brings me to the fourth and final thing: you should never sacrifice your relationships. Relationships are the very fabric of our lives. They are what give our lives meaning, purpose, and joy. When you prioritize your relationships, you create a life that is rich in love, connection, and belonging. You surround yourself with people who lift you up, support you, and believe in you. But building strong relationships isn't always easy. It requires vulnerability, communication, and a willingness to put others first. It means being there for your loved ones, even when it's inconvenient. It means listening with empathy and compassion, even when you disagree. It means apologizing when you've made a mistake and forgiving when others have hurt you. When you prioritize your relationships, you create a life that is filled with meaning and purpose. Think about the relationships that matter most to you. Maybe it's your spouse who has been by your side through thick and thin. Maybe it's your children who look up to you as their role model and hero. Maybe it's your friends who know you better than anyone else and love you unconditionally. These relationships are the very foundation of your life. They are what will sustain you through the ups and downs, the triumphs and the challenges. But it's not just about the relationships you already have. It's also about the relationships you have yet to build. Every person you meet is an opportunity for connection, for growth, for learning. When you approach others with an open heart and a curious mind, you never know what kind of magic might happen. You might meet a mentor who changes the course of your career. You might make a new friend who becomes a lifelong confidant. You might even fall in love with someone who makes your heart skip a beat. So my friend, never sacrifice your relationships for anything or anyone. Cherish the people in your life and make time for them every single day. Pick up the phone and call your mom just to say hi. Send a text to your best friend just to let them know you're thinking of them. Plan a date night with your partner just to reconnect and rekindle the spark. These small acts of love and connection are what make life worth living. As I look out at all of you today, I see a room full of people with incredible potential. You have dreams that are waiting to be pursued, courage that is waiting to be unleashed, integrity that is waiting to be lived, and relationships that are waiting to be cherished. But it's up to you to make the choice. Will you sacrifice these things for the sake of fitting in, playing it safe, or pleasing others? Or will you hold on to them with everything you've got, no matter what life throws your way? I've been where you are. I've faced my own moments of choice, my own fears and doubts and insecurities. But every time I've chosen to stay true to my dreams, my courage, my integrity, and my relationships, I've been rewarded with a life that is more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. And I want that same thing for you. So let me leave you with this final thought. Your life is a precious gift, one that is meant to be lived to the fullest. Don't waste it by sacrificing the things that matter most. Pursue your dreams with passion and determination. Live with courage, even when it's scary. Act with integrity, even when no one is watching. And cherish your relationships, even when it's hard. If you do these things, I promise you that you will look back on your life with no regrets. You will know that you lived a life that was true to who you are. A life that made a difference in the world. And that, my friend, is the greatest legacy you can leave behind. Let me share with you a story from my own life that illustrates the power of never sacrificing your dreams. When I was a young man, I had a dream of becoming a teacher. I wanted to make a difference in the lives of students, to help them see their own potential and live up to it. But when I told my family and friends about my dream, they were skeptical. They said that teaching was a noble profession, but it wouldn't pay the bills. They encouraged me to pursue a more lucrative career like law or medicine. For a while, I listened to them. I started down the path of becoming a lawyer, even though my heart wasn't in it. I studied hard, got good grades, and landed a job at a prestigious law firm. But every day, I felt like I was dying a little inside. I was sacrificing my dream for the sake of practicality, and it was eating away at me. One day I hit a breaking point. I was sitting in my office staring at a stack of legal briefs, and I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't spend my life doing something that didn't light me up inside. So I quit my job, enrolled in a teaching program, and never looked back. Was it easy? No, I had to take a huge pay cut, live on a tight budget, and work long hours. But every day I woke up excited to go to work. I felt like I was making a real difference in the lives of my students. And as the years went by, I watched them grow and thrive and become incredible human beings. Some of them even came back to thank me years later for believing in them when no one else did. That experience taught me a powerful lesson. When you have a dream, you have to pursue it with everything you've got. You can't let anyone else tell you what you're capable of or what you should be doing with your life. You have to trust your own inner voice, your own sense of purpose and passion. And that brings me to another story, one that speaks to the power of courage. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was a terrifying moment, one that shook me to my core. I was faced with a choice. I could let the fear consume me, or I could face it head-on with courage and determination. I chose courage. I underwent round after round of chemotherapy, even when it left me weak and exhausted. I faced each day with a positive attitude, even when the pain was unbearable. And I leaned on the love and support of my family and friends, even when I felt like I had nothing left to give. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the most transformative. Through that experience, I learned that I was stronger than I ever knew. I learned that I could face my deepest fears and come out the other side. And I learned that when we have the courage to confront the challenges in our lives, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility and growth. That's what I want for all of you. I want you to have the courage to face your fears, to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone. I want you to have the courage to be yourselves, even when the world is telling you to be someone else. And I want you to have the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even when it's hard. Because when you live with courage, you become unstoppable. You become a force to be reckoned with, someone who can overcome any obstacle and achieve any goal. And that, my friends, is a life worth living. But courage alone isn't enough. You also need integrity, the third thing you should never sacrifice. Integrity is about being true to yourself and your values, even when it's difficult. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. And it's about being honest, authentic, and transparent in all your dealings. I learned the importance of integrity the hard way. Early in my career, I was working for a company that was engaging in some unethical practices. They were cutting corners, lying to customers, and prioritizing profits over people. And for a while, I went along with it. I told myself that it wasn't my responsibility, that I was just following orders. But deep down, I knew it was wrong. I knew that I was compromising my integrity for the sake of a paycheck. And it was eating away at me, just like sacrificing my dream of teaching had eaten away at me years before. So once again, I made a choice. I quit my job, even though I didn't have another one lined up. I blew the whistle on the company's unethical practices, even though it meant burning bridges and making enemies. And I started over, this time with a commitment to always do the right thing, no matter what. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. By living with integrity, I was able to look myself in the mirror every day and feel proud of the person staring back at me. I was able to build trust with others because they knew that I would always be honest and truthful. And I was able to create a life that was aligned with my values and my sense of purpose. That's what I want for all of you. I want you to live with integrity, to be true to yourselves and your values. I want you to do the right thing, even when it's hard. And I want you to be honest, authentic, and transparent in all your dealings. Because when you live with integrity, you become a person of substance. You become someone who can be trusted, admired, and respected. And you become someone who leaves a positive legacy in the world. And that brings me to the final thing: you should never sacrifice your relationships. Relationships are the very heart of the human experience. They give our lives meaning, purpose, and joy. And they are what will sustain us through the ups and downs of life. I've been blessed with many incredible relationships in my life. My wife, my children, my friends, my colleagues, they have all played a vital role in shaping who I am today. They have supported me, challenged me, and loved me unconditionally. And they have taught me the true meaning of connection and belonging. But building strong relationships takes work. It requires time, effort, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It means being there for others even when it's inconvenient. It means listening with empathy and compassion, even when we disagree. And it means apologizing when we've made mistakes and forgiving when others have hurt us. I know that it can be tempting to put relationships on the back burner, especially when we're busy chasing our dreams or building our careers. But let me tell you something: no amount of success or achievement can replace the love and connection we get from our relationships. At the end of the day, it's the people in our lives that matter most. So make time for your relationships. Prioritize them, cherish them, and invest in them. Pick up the phone and call your mom just to say hi. Send a text to your best friend just to let them know you're thinking of them. Plan a date night with your partner just to reconnect and rekindle the spark. These small acts of love and connection are what make life worth living. And don't be afraid to build new relationships too. Every person you meet is an opportunity for growth, learning, and connection. When you approach others with an open heart and a curious mind, you never know what kind of magic might happen. You might meet a mentor who changes the course of your career. You might make a new friend who becomes a lifelong confidant. You might even fall in love with someone who makes your heart skip a beat. Because here's the thing: we are all interconnected. We are all part of the same human family, the same web of life. And when we prioritize our relationships, we create a world that is more loving, more compassionate, and more connected. So my friends, never sacrifice your relationships for anything or anyone. Hold on to them with everything you've got, no matter what life throws your way. Because at the end of the day, it's the people we love that make life worth living. As I look out at all of you today, I am filled with hope and inspiration. I see a room full of people with incredible gifts, talents, and potential. You have the power to create lives that are rich in meaning, purpose, and joy. You have the power to pursue your dreams, live with courage and integrity, and cherish your relationships. But it's up to you to make the choice. Will you sacrifice these things for the sake of fitting in, playing it safe, or pleasing others? Or will you hold on to them with everything you've got, no matter what? I know that it's not always easy. Life can be challenging, scary, and overwhelming at times. But I also know that when we stay true to ourselves and our values, when we surround ourselves with people who lift us up and believe in us, anything is possible. So let me leave you with this final thought. Your life is a precious gift, one that is meant to be lived to the fullest. Don't waste it by sacrificing the things that matter most. Pursue your dreams with passion and determination. Live with courage, even when it's scary. Act with integrity, even when no one is watching. And cherish your relationships, even when it's hard. If you do these things, I promise you that you will look back on your life with no regrets. You will know that you lived a life that was true to who you are, a life that made a difference in the world. And that, my friends, is the greatest legacy you can leave behind. So go out there and live your best life. Dream big, be brave, stay true, and love hard. The world is waiting for you to make your mark, and I can't wait to see all the incredible things you will achieve. Thank you.